Alrighty, gentlemen, this is take two. Take two. Um, it's me just talking to you guys. I'm not gonna be cussing as much nor yelling my nuts off. It's about me telling you my situation, and it's gonna go back 2 years. It's gonna go back 2 years. In 2023, I was around 18, well 17, and then I turned 18 when I started talking to this girl. It always starts with a crazy girl, gentlemen. Uh, So what happened was, you know, I made the biggest mistake of my life, and that was giving her a child. I should have. This is why male fathers are really important. If your mother says that she doesn't need a man, she is hurting and needs to seek help. Because if you are in a single household with a single mom, you yourself have to become your own father, if that makes sense. But uh, the mistake that the big ass mistake that I made was, giving her a child, and things were looking okay. They were looking fine, pretty good, pretty stable. So the baby came along, stuff started to go downhill. It all began with her not wanting to help me with the diaper change, the formula, and let me tell you, gentlemen, it was her choice. I wasn't gonna force it. She didn't want to do breastfeeding because she didn't want she didn't want to stop smoking. She was a pothead, and I'm a pothead myself, but I legit stopped smoking. I didn't drink for a certain amount of time that she was pregnant, nor the fact that I didn't care to. But that should have been a red flag. She didn't want to stop smoking, and she told me that she wanted to at least have a hit from my dispo when she was pregnant. And I believe that was like 3 months into the pregnancy. That was like the last thing I've ever had. I told her hell no, and that's when I threw my stuff away. I made sure we had nothing in the house that involved weed or anything. But uh, after the baby came, there was a lot of issues, a lot of issues. There was on her side. It was mostly she didn't want to help me. I would stay up constantly all night, and let me tell you, gentlemen, children, especially babies, do not give a damn what time it is. They will cry their asses off all day and all night. And unfortunately, my child was an all nighter, so I would stay up all night making sure the baby would go to bed around 5. It was extremely hard, but it was worth it. It was worth it because that would mean that me and her would spend a lot of time, even though I wanted to spend my time asleep. And as soon as it hit around 5, she would pass out. And oh Lord, let me tell you, gentlemen, the fact that the child would have its lungs nonstop breathing and letting that air out as she cried, I'm like, God darn it, man, you gotta go to bed, kid. But as time went on, she cheated. She decided to have her fun. I kicked her out, and the first red flag was she told me that she slept around, and me not being a judgmental bastard that I was, because I myself was a little horny demon. I was a little succubus. Bonnie Blue didn't have shit on me in high school, but that should have been a sign. My sister told me that she didn't like her, and I should have really taken that, but nope. Being a 17 to 18-year old, I just said, nah. I'm a grown ass man. I can do this, and that grown ass retarded man did his shit stupendously stupid. I messed up my life going forward from that time. I was really immature, really selfish, and thinking I knew better than my mom, even though her herself doesn't quite understand life because I wouldn't grown up the way I did in my childhood. But uh, there was a time where I kicked her out. She would come back, and I would kick her out again. And the last time I kicked her out was, I forgot, it was around the spring or summer. But excuse me. But when I kicked her out, she called the cops 3 days later or two. They told me that they want the child, or they're going to take me in, and I don't want a criminal record of any kind. So I just said, okay, they can have her, but I'm going to try to get her back. And I tried my best, I really did. And then 3 or 4 days later, I got a court paper saying that they were trying to give her up. And again, I I tried my absolute hardest to get my child back, but I realized that she would have been better off with those people than being with me and this and her mother. Because, I mean, she she was not gonna have a great start to life. And I saw a picture of the people that she was with, and I realized that she would be much better off, much happier with a. And I will not lie, they are wealthy, with a wealthy and happy, stable family than what I have, and that got me depressed for a long, long time. I wasn't going to school. I didn't have nothing, and there was a time where I was with my sister. We went to Albuquerque, and we were working there. Well, she was working. I was mostly in the house, just making sure everything was okay. But I called it work because I'm lazy, and I stood there till I was 19, and going forward from there, I came back to my mom's place, me and her, and the time I spent there, I did absolutely nothing. I was just relying off my government checks. And Jesus, how much that killed me. How much that thought killed me. And I really wasn't doing anything. I didn't even realize I was paying most of my mom's bills with my checks till pretty recently, like 4 or 5 months ago. But I really did try to get myself back until the one thing that pushed me was my little brother, my little baby brother. He got himself a job at McDonald's. So I said, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. And I applied, and as I was doing my job, I met this beautiful, caring girl. She had short hair, and she was extremely, extremely kind. At first, I was kind of worried. I thought she was just faking it, but she talked to me. We would talk a lot during our shifts, and of all people, she made the first move. She told me that she wanted my number, and that's when I picked up on the hints. I was like, oh, I see. And we were talking till I turned, I believe, 20. Yeah, I turned 20. She ended up giving me a gift about a letter, and I was like, oh my God, nobody has ever done that. And she told me what, what she felt, and I'm like, this girl, she poured out her whole heart into it. So I told myself, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I think this girl really is the one. And till this day, we are still together. It's been 2 years. Let me ask, baby, how long has it been since we've been together? 2 years, gentlemen. It's been 2 whole years. Now I'm 20. I was 19 before once we met. Yeah, huh? Yep, there we go. I have her for my proof because I sometimes forget. I know sometimes I forget. That's terrible on me, but that's okay. But uh, she ended up telling me that what she was staying with her uncle, and she told me about her whole family story. And I realized that she was more like me than anyone I have ever talked to. And to this day, I still think to myself, how the hell did she have her license before me? Because, like I said on my other short, she had cancer. She beat it. Gentlemen, my boys, can I get a W? A W, a quick W, just a simple one. But she beat it, and she got her license while she was doing her chemo treatment. And but of course, uh, it's been like 3 years since she's fought it. She was in rehab for a whole year before it ended up coming back. And right now we are at Denver, Colorado, gentlemen. Denver. But she finally beat it. But during those times, it was extraordinarily hard. I was not going to leave this woman. I was not going anywhere. Because why would I? Before we got to this point, I wanted to move out of my mom's place. And my auntie, she gave us the choice to move into her RV. I took it as fast and as quickly as possible because the fact that my mother would always constantly belittle me, telling me that I'm not doing shit with myself, how I'm just a waste of space in her house, despite me putting more into the bills than she would ever have. She would constantly tell me that she's the one always putting 1,000 and something, even though we lived in a housing. I mean, I'm grateful that we had a roof over our head, but there was a ride we were in the car and we were going back from El Paso to Las Cruces, which that's where I'm from. Uh, we were on our way, and she would always constantly just tell me, she's like, oof, in Spanish. This is in Spanish, but she would tell me, lárgate, lárgate, which in translation means that just get out of my house, get out of my house. And I called her on her bluff as soon as I got the chance. She was in Mexico for about 2 weeks, almost half of a month. She was in Mexico, and my auntie just told me that I have this place for you because she saw how the fact my mom would treat and talk to me and constantly lie in her favor to everybody she knew. She would say how I'm just a psycho. I'm like, wow, okay, okay, tell them how you treat me behind doors. And she's like, oh, you're just trying to be a victim. I'm like, okay. And when I took the chance to move out, I took it. And to this day, I do not regret it. I do not regret it. And when I got to the RV, we automatically put everything we had into that place. When she came back a week later from her trip, she told me where I was, and that's when my little brother ended up telling her that we ended up moving out. And my mom freaked the fuck out. She started blowing up my phone, saying that why would I move out? Why they're gonna end up taking away the check? And I'm like, well, you told me to. And there was more arguing. I didn't talk to her for a week till my sister's court case, her first court case popped up. Because she ended up doing something, but I won't get into that till probably part two. If I make part two, I don't know. But I took the chance to move into that RV, and she just we ended up communicating, and she told me that it hurt the fact that I ended up moving and didn't want her to know where I lived. And then she constantly does this though, gaslights me. She would say that it hurts that I told her some certain stuff, that she's a terrible mom, that which is, I still stand by that. She's not the great mom that she claims to tell her friends. I once heard her on her phone saying, "Ooh, I'm a good mom. I'm not a bad mom. They don't know. I done my job." I'm like, okay. That's why social services took us two times, two times. But anyways, back to the point. She ended up just telling me how much it hurt, and I said I'm sorry, which I should have not. I should not have done that. But um, after we moved out, no, I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry. This is off script. I'm not doing shit on script, which I might. I should. I think I have. Should I? I don't know. But she told me that it hurts, and I said I'm sorry. She forgave me, and we were on good terms. We were on good terms till my sister's last day being free, her final court case, and this was still in the time where I was in the RV. Uh, well, the crazy part is we had to stay in a hotel due to the fact the RV was pretty crappy. But I didn't mind because I was away from her and I didn't have nothing to do. And this is also my partner, my beautiful, supportive partner. We were stuck in the trenches, boys. Let me tell you, that shit was trenches. It's worse than the place that my mom lived at. It was constantly yelling, and there was an RV that caught on fire because somebody's ex decided to burn it up. And during Valentine's Day, boys, um, but when we were coming back from the hotel, my sister's court case was, well, it was gonna happen, and I couldn't attend it because I had really, really bad food poisoning. Gentlemen, let me tell you something. Hotel milk is sketchy as hell. It's sketchy as hell. Um, but when we were on our way back, my fiance she was going in my place, and unfortunately, they found my sister guilty. She got locked up for a year, but she would be out. She's gonna be out in March, boys. So good shit, good shit. Um, but then after that, she came back to me. She told me what happened, and I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, well, there goes my one of my supports, my chip Cheerio, my ride or die. But it was we knew that something like this was gonna come down eventually, and after that, my auntie ended up telling me. that her brother was building an apartment off a trailer, cutting it up in half, dividing it. We took it ASAP, and let me tell you, gentlemen, it was heaven. It was heaven. It was basically an upgrade. It was an upgrade. We ended up moving in right away. The shitty part was that the landlord's wife was a constant bitch about the rent money. She would always come and then she's like, rent money, rent money. We would always have it. We would always have it. But there was a time where, and this is where my fiance's cancer came back. At first, we thought it was golfer's injury, where her shoulder, no, her elbow ended up getting a swollen. Basically, like it got swollen due to some type of juice, not juice, but liquid. That's the best way I can put it, liquid. And yeah, we thought it was just that. We got Tylenol and everything till it wasn't healing. It was half a month until it was. She was still in pain, and that's when we had to go to the hospital because she ended up telling me that her chest started to hurt extremely bad. And I told her, I was like, "Is this the same symptoms you had when you were going into your first, well, your first treatment?" She was like, "Yep." That's when I automatically packed our stuff. I ended up going to the hospital with her. I stood there. We got we got the confirmation that her chemo was back. Her blood counts were off the roof, and yeah, so they had to transport her from Las Cruces to El Paso Hospital, and it was one experience that I will never forget. Being behind my ambulance for the first time, it was awesome, but at the same time sad. And when we got there, I had to tell my auntie if she can pick me up so I can go back to work. Because every time I would go to work, I would come back to her, go back to work, and come back to her. But the fourth time, I couldn't come back to her because my auntie was having issues with her car. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drive over there with my car. And mind you, I did not have my license, but I didn't care because I wanted to see how she was doing. And this cycle would repeat itself for about a month or 2 months straight till she ended up having to come to Denver. But on our second to last week and in Las Cruces or El Paso, my bad, uh, I was staying at her, well, my fiance, and that's when I ended up getting some bad news. And mind you, gentlemen, when I moved to the RV, I had two dogs, two precious dogs. My Chihuahua that was there through it all in middle school, and I ended up getting a pit bull. Basically saved the pit bull from getting put down. Uh, I ended up bringing him with me to the RV, to the apartment, even including my Chihuahua. But there was a time where every time I would go to see my fiance, I would have my pit bull in the cage, and I would have my Chihuahuas roaming free. And sometimes I would put them in the cage together, which to this day I regret it. But sorry, I don't. This part is hard because my Chihuahua was my homie G, my triple G, my baby boy, my. When they say that dogs are like children to you, they do not lie. And when they end up passing, it is like losing a family member because the journey that you go through, the journey that they go through with you, is incredibly and utterly sad because you know that you were their only person. You were their world outside this big old rock of junk. But um, my pit bull ended up he ended up killing my chihuahua, and I also had another chihuahua that I ended up rescuing with my wife. His name was Patches, and my chihuahua, the one that was with me always, his name was Moonlight. The reason I named him that was I could always see him when the moon was shining down at its brightest. He was like a little white snowflake just with legs. But when I got the call from my auntie saying there was some bad news, I automatically had a feeling my boys, something happened to my boys. And I told her what happened to my dogs, and she said, so sorry. My pit bull ended up biting their necks and strangling them.
Damn, you good?
And mind you, boys, I had
Yo, you good?
the newest Chihuahua.
Damn.
He was just learning how to potty outside, which really devastated me for so long. And also, I was having trouble with the rent. I was having trouble coming up with the rent because me and my wife were the ones that would always, she would work, she would also put down money, but as soon as she got sick, it was just me and that place. And let me tell you something, gentlemen. If you are alone and you ever gone through something, your house is a mirror through your soul. If you won't be able to keep up with it, it will show. It will really show how messy your house gets when you just feel like you have nothing else in life and how hard it is. Your house will reflect your soul like a mirror reflecting you, and it utterly sucks.
Alright, okay.
But when all that was done and we were coming to Denver, I basically said, fuck it. I have nothing to lose, I have nothing to gain except my wife's health and our future. So I just continued pushing forward, continue being by her side. And as soon as we got back, we had a lot of appointments, man. Let me tell you, we were waking up from 6 to fucking 7 to make sure we get to the appointments. And let me tell you, gentlemen, coming from Denver to New Mexico was hard. It was stressful, absolutely stressful. So as soon as we ended up going and finishing all her appointments, it was the big day to start her treatment, her radiation, her basically everything all over. We were in the hospital for 3.5 months. The third we don't really count because we got here on July. Yeah, July, or June, somewhere around there. But it was extremely difficult. There would be times where I would start freaking out and just like, God damn it, what happened? How is this happening? And then there would be times where I was like, yeah, I can handle this. I can handle this. It was extremely bipolar, gentlemen. And oof. The way she got, the way she would throw up, the way she would not eat. I got so damn scared. I had dreams where she was passing on, and I would wake up crying about my dogs. It was extraordinarily hard, boys. Extraordinarily hard, but I knew we got it. I knew we could get over the hill. And just recently, 3 days ago, we ended up getting out, full recovery, making sure she's back, and she is doing fine. Aren't you, baby? You're doing fine? Yeah, she's doing absolutely fine. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick, well, not quick, but a decent amount of updates on what happened and why I stopped uploading and why I ended up basically falling off of my schedule. Um, Long story short from here is that I was having trouble paying my rent. My dogs ended up passing. I had to worry about my fiance's health. And now that that's all done, I will try my very best to get to you all. You all have been there and just stood by my side as well, which I won't lie. If I find a way to make profit off this, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it as fast as I can. But I know it's gonna be a journey, a hell of a long journey to get to there. But I just don't do it for. I won't do it just for any profit. I do it to give my thoughts on situations, to give some thoughts on some games that I feel need fixing, and just a lot of stuff that I want you guys to, my thoughts that I hopefully you guys agree with. But yep, that is all. This is Bill Evans signing out, gentlemen. Hopefully with a new start.